Hey guys, we're live. We had a little bit of an issue with the system beforehand. We are now restarting the show, and what we're going to be doing is a video specifically talking about what you should do in preparation for your disability hearing that's going to be an hour from now. I'm not on my usual set right now. I am right now in New Jersey as opposed to being in Florida, where I usually am, where you'd have the disability resolution background and the spaceconstitution.com background, which will be .org shortly. But the bottom line is this. Guys, let's go through how you need to prepare for your hearing within the next hour. Here we go. First and foremost, you need to pick a spot that's quiet, away from people where you are not recording. This includes other things that can record your conversations, kind of like the things from Amazon, Apple, etc. Now, next thing you need to know is the following. When it comes down to the toughest questions that you're going to be having in there, there's a bunch of trick questions. You can always search through my videos for the top 50 ALJ trick questions. Those will help you. Also search for the top 200 Social Security disability hearing questions, those common ones. That'll pop up. Great playlist. However, here's the thing. Missy C, howdy, howdy. Here's the thing. Here are the 5 questions you should focus on right now before your hearing, 1 hour before. Okay, number 1, what are your top 5 most severe disabling conditions? Number 2, when did each of those conditions start and when did each one become severe? Number 3, what symptoms do you have per each impairment? You're shooting for 2 symptoms per each impairment. 2 symptoms, 2 symptoms, 2 symptoms, 2 symptoms, and 2 symptoms for each impairment. Number 3, what medications are you currently taking and what side effects do you get from those medications? And number 5, what jobs have you worked with in the past 15 years? Think back 15 years. What are the jobs you've worked? They don't really care about the little ones, the 3-monther, the 4-monther, the 5, the 6, the 7-monthers. Those are important because those equate to SGA. Now, with that said, and this is incredibly important, you need to go ahead and pick a chair that's very comfortable. I'm on a piano bench right now, which is not comfortable at all. You have to be able to sit consistently for 45 minutes to an hour. You will obviously, if you need to, be able to stand up, move around, and do that function. And we're looking at this from the perspective of doing the hearing by video teleconference, which means just by phone. In fact, some of the hearing offices are now saying they're getting rid of the video teleconference aspect of it and just doing telephonic. So most of them are going away from video telephonic to just telephonic, which means it's just over the phone. Now, there are 4 main parts to a Social Security disability hearing, sometimes 5. If there's 5, you'll have a medical expert. You can always reach out to me for more information on that. But let's just go with the standard one, which has 4 main sections. The sections are the following. Your introduction. That's where your attorney will talk with the judge. They'll be cleaning up a lot of little administrative details. You'll be rolling in the right direction. Life is good. You'll get through that and be like, I don't know what just happened. Then you'll get to the part that matters for you. The examination part. That is where the judge will examine you, ask you a bunch of questions, and your attorney will cross-examine you, ask you a bunch of questions as well. The judge could go ahead and have the attorney start. The judge could go ahead and start themselves. Most of the younger judges will start themselves and do a whole list of questions. That's how they're being trained. Most of the older judges will say, okay, counselor, go ahead. And that means attorney, go ask all the questions that are the usual ones, throw in the ones that you think are necessary for the particular listings, for the particular severe impairments that you have. Okay, cool. Next thing, trial tactics. When you get emotional, you should be getting emotional specifically at times where essentially, let's just be realistic about this, it makes sense for your testimony, involving family-oriented issues, involving trauma to you, whether it's to the mind, to the body, etc. Make sure you become emotional at appropriate times as you go ahead and do your trial preparation. Some of you have no control over it. Totally fine. Some of you do. Use your skills as you may. Next thing that's incredibly important. When you are going through this hearing process, you will go through the first 2, the introduction and your examination portion. You will then go to the vocational expert portion. In that part of the hearing, the vocational expert will give jobs that you could potentially do in the national economy based on hypotheticals that the judge will ask. The judge will ask these hypotheticals based upon you, the hypothetical person, as to whether or not you, with these limitations, and then they'll add more, take away some, add more, take away some, could do particular things. The whole point here that I think is incredibly important is that you realize that is when the judge is telling you how likely the judge believes that you are severely impaired. Okay, cool. Next thing you need to know is that as you go through this process, when you get to the outro, do not be a hero when the judge asks you, is there anything that you would like to add? No major stories, no epic journeys, none of that stuff. because you will put your foot directly into your mouth and say something that will hurt your claim. If you want to go ahead and see more questions related to the Social Security disability hearings, please look up the following playlists: the top 50 trick ALJ questions, along with the 200 most common Social Security disability ALJ hearing questions. Those are the two playlists that I think a lot of people have success with. Other than that, guys, have an absolutely wonderful night. I will catch you a little bit later. And remember, this is your preparation 1 hour before your Social Security disability hearing, whether for SSI, SSDI, DAC, or other benefits. Also, very, very important, when you get onto the phone with the clerk joining you, assume the judge is already on the phone. Don't say anything unique or special while you're thinking the judge hasn't been joined yet. Sometimes they have. I'll catch you a little bit later. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.